You've been everywhere, haven't you? But you still love Central Queensland. You live and breathe, and you've got a passion to make sure that this region and beyond actually gets moving. And at the moment, it seems to be stalling.
Well, Michael, what I can't understand is what in God's name is the federal and state government got against Central Queensland? But they just seem to be back in office. Every time you turn around, every corner you turn, they find another way.
Look, unless you live in the city, because it's not just Rockhampton, you know, there's developments being stopped on the Gold Coast, there's been development stopped in Cairns, you know, they're just waiting for paperwork, Townsville, you know, up and down the coast. I always thought jobs was the #1 criteria. It seems the previous government and this government is tied up in red tape and green votes. It just bedazzles me.
Hit the nail on the head about the green votes. They need to start thinking twice about being led around like a bull with a ring in its nose.
Well, you know, I've got to tell you, Labor Party stuff about the green votes.
Exactly.
And you know, sooner or later the Greens, with the Labor bowing to them so much, they will overtake Labor. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Greens do a deal with somebody else.
Well, it's what will happen, but also...
It's fascinating.
Don't forget the Democrats. I mean, when Chip was there, basically his whole thing was let's keep the bastards honest.
Yes.
And he did.
Yes.
Next minute they started getting too close to the Labor Party, and what happened? Down there.
Now look, you know, you are a man of land, you know, you sell property, you know what's happening out there, you're hearing people going bust, there's even suicides, everything is happening out there that should be reported, but it's not. We need to get it out in the open. How bad is it out there?
It's shocking.
It's shocking.
It's shocking. You know, some of these fellows are going into their 4th year of drought, and others are in the 3rd year. Some have had rain in the 20s, and it's sort of given some reprieve. But you see, Michael, the problem is, I heard you talk to someone the other day and they didn't want to comment on it. You know, I don't know why anybody in this industry would not want to comment on this situation. But you know, what irks me more than anything else is that the federal government can borrow money and find billions of dollars to give overseas. I know this is not
I know where you're coming from.
Well,
save your breath.
No.
Because it's terrible.
I want to give you some context. I want to put some context.
Okay, then. Okay.
And what I want to say is this, and quickly. I know you're busy looking up all those things there to get in line with. But the thing is, Michael, we give billions of dollars in aid overseas. We will never see it back.
No.
Those countries never ever support us. Here we are now, these people are in drought. Who's supporting them from overseas? Nobody.
No one.
Nobody. And you won't see it either.
Exactly.
The point is we give all those billions of dollars overseas, and what happens at the end of the day? We get nothing back. Now, if they put some of that money back into the rural industry, keep those people on the land, stop them killing, suiciding, stop them getting into situations where they've got to walk away from everything they've owned to live for all their life, from the properties that have been in the same family for generations, and that's why they're committing suicide, because they feel they've let that part of the family down, and you can understand the pressure that's on them from that situation. If they put that money back into this industry, when they need it, they've been taking tax off them, they've taken everything away from them over the years. If they put that money back into it now, when things come good, those people they will employ people, they will be paying taxes, they'll be contributing to their community, they'll contribute to the nation, and the whole thing will go.
I want to give you a what if, okay? So what if I've invested heavily in this farm, and I'm doing so well for 10 years, and all of a sudden I hit a drought, and then another drought, and then another drought. I'm busted. It's a business.
No money coming in, money going in.
But hang on a second. Who's responsible for that? Is it the person who's bought the farm? They've taken a punt. It's like a car dealer. You know, they're doing so well, and all of a sudden they collapse. Does the government help them? No. So what's your...
Yes, no, hang on a minute, they do. What about the car industry?
No. I'm talking about... No. I'm talking about the Joe Blow in the city street. He's selling, you know, a particular brand, and he goes under. He closes down. There's no government support there. I'm not talking about Holden Ford and all that stuff. I'll talk about, you know, a dress shop. You know, they're doing so well. They go bust. There's no help. So a lot of people are asking, why don't they just walk off the land?
Well, Michael, I'll tell you why. Because these people spend a lifetime to know what they know about.
Yes.
The dress shop, and I'm not making small of the person in the dress shop. I'm certainly not doing that because it takes a lot. But that's only one
business
person.
Is a business.
But hang on a minute. That's only one person.
And they employ 20 people.
all right, they got one person that employed 20 people.
Yep.
We're talking about, you know, that the biggest part of Queensland is in severe drought.
I know, it's crippling. It breaks my heart.
It's not, hadn't just rained for a couple of weeks, they were in severe drought.
Yep.
No feed, nothing out there, there's not, you know, the sheep have eaten the roots out of the Mitchell grass.
Yes.
They've eaten the roots
It'll
out
never
of the
come
Mitchell.
back.
There's nothing left.
No.
And well, it'll come back. Mitchell grass, there's one funny thing about Mitchell grass, will come back, but the point of the matter is, they've eaten the roots out of the Mitchell grass, and at the end of the day, that there's nothing left to eat at the moment. So
Right.
consequently, and they've got to buy stuff to keep their sheep going. And or, and
It was just a question. It was just a question, but you haven't answered me.
I have. I'm answering it now.
I know they've got the knowledge,
Well, where are you going to get it? A lifetime of knowledge.
but there's plenty of people coming up the line who's got other cattle farms that have got the knowledge and can take over when the good times get ahead.
Michael, half of them people that are coming up that you're talking about are looking at what's going on now and saying, bugger this, I'm out of here.
I love this. I love the
Mate,
what ifs. I love the what
I've been
ifs.
there
It
too
makes,
long.
it makes people think and go, I wonder. Now look, I am running out of time,
I
but
know you are.
you got a good piece of bush poetry for me.
Well, it's basically about the plight. It was about
By the way, I'm talking to Lea Taylor. Go for it.
Oh,
Yes.
it's hard to be a has-been and be told you don't get tried. Your country doesn't need you, so you may as well be shot. The wool you grow is useless, and the sheep you own are worse. And the bitter land you live on isn't worth the tinker's curse. You haven't any money, and your overdrafts are immense. You'd scamper to the cities if you had a drop of sense. But if you're born and bred here, and you've got a bit of guts, you'll tell the smart economist he's economic nuts. Sure, we've a drought and a recession, and things are looking pretty poor. But the man who lives with sheep and wool has seen it all before. He has seen it and devised it, though he's getting pretty tired of providing with his sheep the backs on which his fellow rides. In the good times when they come around and wool was worth a lot, the tax man reaped a harvest and took most of what you got. He took it and he used it, built cities, ports and mines. And now he says we're self-supporting and our country's credit shines. But I wonder would he listen if I cracked the warning bell? A worn-out mind's an empty hole, and a porter thinks things are shit. The way this country's going with inflation running wide, our export costs are really going to get us into stride. Now, if I were a gambling man, I'd take a little bet that when the mine and dust is settled, we'll be shearing.
Well said, because at the end of the day, you can only mine once, can't you? You dig it up once and it's gone.
And this is what I'm saying. This is an industry that will keep bringing back and giving back, and it'll return for this country. We can't just let it fall in a heap and let these people that know so much about it walk away. It's a lifetime enterprise. It's a lifetime apprenticeship, sorry. And without putting that time in and knowing the country and knowing your land and knowing the industry, knowing your animals, knowing your farming, doesn't matter what it is. It's a lifetime thing. It's not like someone going to break with a shot, and I'm not making a light of that.
No. Look, I know where you're coming from.
And the drought hits a whole area.
But there's lots of people who know who've been studying and want to do everything like that. You know, you walk off the farm, you cut the loss, and then you know.
This is the trouble. You don't learn this.
Yeah.
It comes from the school of hard knocks.
You've almost convinced me. But there's lots of different thoughts out there.
I'm
What I'm
laughing.
saying is, what happens if there's a 10-year? You know, you can't expect a family to be nice and happy year after year after year. They've got their hand out and they're begging and they're losing self-esteem. You know, we want to help them, but sooner or later they've got to let go. You know, that there's no roots.
Michael,
The sheep are gone, the cattle are gone, and they have to leave. But they're going to leave with nothing.
It's like man's no river, and that horse, it's stuck to still unborn, it's carried forward. That these people will not let go, and if they give them a chance, they'll fight and keep going. And other countries support their rural people.
But see, that's the trouble. They'll keep going to a certain degree, and that's why we've got such a high suicide rate. And if you are suicidal, lifeline please, or look up Black Dog. But at the end of the day, these people are keeping it to themselves. The government should be going, you know, why can't we have a rural bank, right?
Well,
that actually buys out farms when they're in strife. and they give them a decent price so they can walk off the land and get back into it when the drought breaks. I mean, why can't that happen instead of giving money overseas countries?
This is what I'm saying. If we put the money there, see, when these fellas, when it all finishes, if they knew that they've sold their cattle, if they knew they could restock, none of this business about, all right, if your place will run 2,000 litre cattle, we'll give you 500. If it'll run 2,000 litre cattle, they've got to have 2,000 litre cattle back, otherwise they're never going to sell that.
I know where you're coming from. Keep the dream alive.
Thanks
okay?
a million. Good on you.
No worries. Okay, Lee. Always welcome on 4 Road, Beef Australia.
Harvey Norman Furniture.